Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, and indeed this is a live news show, live on YouTube. Hey, if you're a movie fan, it's a place where you can get all your entertainment headlines, where we talk about all the big movie news headlines of the day, including Lord of War 2 begins shooting next year, Dune Part 2 comes out with some posters, Godzilla X Kong trailer dropped over the weekend, man. Oh, we'll talk about that for sure. It's Monday, so we'll talk about the weekend's box office report, Zack Snyder's 300 sequel, what was going on with that. But we started off today's show by talking about the Iron Man news that just dropped, and it's not good news, guys. It's kind of a bummer. Let's talk about it. It's official. Iron Man will not be returning to the MCU, which sucks. This is straight out of Kevin Feige's mouth. Robert Downey Jr., he's not going to be coming back, guys, and that sucks because most of us really like RDJ as Iron Man. But Kevin Feige, this is from his mouth, guys, says Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man will not return to the MCU. As for the other Avengers, the president of Marvel Studios did not address the rumors of their return. Well, because there was always thoughts that Secret Wars would have some kind of version of Iron Man in there, that all the original MCU people would come back, like Black Widow, Chris Evans, Captain America. But now this is from the big head honcho, guys. Kevin Feige, the guy who runs it all, is saying that Robert Downey Jr. will not return to the MCU. And this is the big story of the day because it's going to be across all the big trades and stuff. Guys, do you like this? Does it make sense? I think I really thought there was going to be, an alternate, from another dimension, a version of Tony Stark that we would see in Secret Wars or something like that. But I guess not, according to Kevin Feige. So he says this in a interview with Vanity Fair, quote, "We are going to keep that moment and not touch that moment again," about Tony Stark's emotional final moments in Endgame. "We all worked very hard for many years to get that, and we would never want to magically undo it in any way." Well, that's what would happen. And the MCU has not been afraid of reviving dead characters. I mean, they're the kings of fake out deaths. And I think all of us pretty much assumed, because of Secret Wars, it allows like the Skrulls and stuff like to take over them and stuff, that we would see Robert Downey Jr. again. And I even thought that we would see RDJ in some kind of cameo capacity where he's like recorded a hologram for somebody to, follow his work and how he develops certain technologies and stuff like that. I thought that would be the bare minimum. Now, it does feel like that's a hard line in the sand, that we'll never see him there again. But I still think I'm holding out hope that, like, in some cameo capacities, but as a main character in a movie ever again, yeah, of course, right? Like, even in the Secret Wars, I never thought that Captain America or Iron Man or Black Widow would ever be like the main characters of that. They would just be characters that would come in at a certain point in the film to help drive forward the current Avengers, whoever they may be. Because none of us really know who the current Avengers are right now. None of us do. So it's kind of like, well, yeah. So it's a bit of a situation that is gonna. Well, I'm waiting to see what the other fan reactions are going to be, right? Joe Russo, who directed Endgame, recalled the moment RDJ came in back for a quick reshoot. "We're already said tearfully goodbyes on the last day of shooting." Yeah, so they're just talking about him saying goodbye. He did a great job with the Iron Man role. He is my favorite MCU character. If you don't know my past with Iron Man, I was going through a really bad period of my life at the time. Everything had fallen apart for me, and I watched Iron Man, and it inspired me because he was the guy that used his brain, his smarts, to think himself out of like the worst situation of his life. And I found that extremely inspirational. So, yeah, I kind of see like all the work they've done in the MCU. I can see that bringing back Iron Man would be kind of like undoing that. But I think for the most part, fans, they're going to be clamoring. They want to see it. So it's kind of like RDJ was so iconic in that role. I still think that in some capacity we will get him back in some fashion. What do you guys think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. RDJ, done with the MCU, according to Kevin Feige. Not even in a cameo capacity. I find that hard to believe. I want to hear your thoughts. One more quick MCU story before we go on to the weekend's box office here. Talking about who the possible future Avengers could be. Shang-Chi's Simu Liu steps back from Disney World's candlelight processional amid health issues. Oh no. What's going on with Simu Liu? Yeah, because everybody thought that he would be part of the next Avengers team, but we haven't seen him since what, Shang-Chi. So it's kind of like, what's going on? So he's got some health issues? Bummer, man. Hope it's nothing too serious. Because, wish good health for people, right? Liu took to his Instagram with a sincere message, regretfully announcing his absence from the event, citing health concerns for himself and his family as the primary reason. Despite not not elaborating on a specific health issue, it's notable that Liu recently made headlines for a torn Achilles tendon. Oh, okay. Those are awful. You see YouTube videos of people tearing their Achilles, and hearing that popping noise, it's oh man. So if he's recovering from that, okay. Of course, we just saw him last in the Barbie movie. So there's the statement there. I'm so absolutely gutted to have to drop out of this year's candlelight procession at Disney World. For those who were looking forward to seeing me, know that I equally was looking forward to be part of your holidays. The health of myself and my family are of paramount importance to me. After all, well, of course. After all that, that's the spirit of the season. And so after some health scares, I've made the difficult decision to stay home. No worries, man. Something tells me this isn't the last you've seen of me at the candlelight, though. Let's keep all fingers crossed for 2024. Yeah, Simu Liu, fascinating. Will he be in Avengers 5 or Avengers 4 and 5? Hopefully. Well, I guess it would be technically Avengers 5 because Infinity War and Endgame were two separate movies, even though I think about them as one big movie. What do you guys think about those headlines, those Marvel headlines? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. There are all my other social media handles that you can follow right there. All right, guys, it's Monday, so it's time to talk about the weekend's box office report. And it was Godzilla versus Beyonce. And who came out on top? Well, as we predicted, it was Beyonce. So this is the weekend's box office for the weekend of December 1st to the 3rd. Starting with the top 5. Number 1, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. Number 2, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Number 3, Godzilla -1. Number 4, Trolls Band Together. And number 5 was Wish. Wish hung in there. I was predicting that Napoleon would hang in there. Actually, I thought Napoleon would be number 4 and Trolls would be number 5. And I was hoping that Godzilla would be number 2, but I guess Hunger Games came in there. Retained the second, well, not retained, it dropped down to the second spot because it was number 1 for 2 weeks. But it's 3 weeks in, guys, so that's good. Other notables, Animal, a Hindi film, opened up in the 7th spot. That's being touted as one of the most brutal Hindi films ever. Animal, 6.1 domestically. It's going to have some international numbers in there. They don't count the crore here for some reason on Box Office Mojo. The Shift and Silent Night, John Woo's Actioner, opens up in the 9th spot with 3 million. And guys, the reviews. Let's get some of those out of the way first. The Silent Night, John Woo. I didn't go out to see this. After I heard, that's not the Silent Night that I want. After I heard that the reviews were not good. I heard that the action was muted, 60% by critics, so it's actually a little bit higher than I thought. No audience ratings. That's weird, Box Office Mojo. That's really weird. Because people have seen it, and the people that I talked to have said that it's not worth the money. What should be a can't miss proposition misses not by a little, but by a lot. And it's not hard to understand what went wrong. Well, there's no talking in it. Joel Kinnaman loses his voice in this, and it's supposed to be like an experimental type film in that aspect. So I knew that. Chatter's hardly needed when director John Woo is crafting his trademark stylish, over-the-top violence. Well, that's the thing that I heard that wasn't in it. That the action was extremely subpar from John Woo. It's a typical revenge flick. His son gets killed, his voice box gets knocked out, and Joel Kinnaman goes out for revenge. And he can't use his voice. So I thought it would be a fun action, or maybe I'll go see it tomorrow at Cheap Tuesday. I kind of, it took the wind out of my sails for seeing it when I heard the reactions to it. So 3 million, only in 1,800 theaters. But I mean, look at Animal. It was only in 700 theaters and it made 6.1 million. That's because it's drawing in a lot of the audience from India, right? The Shift opened up in 8th with 4.3. That's another. It's being touted as a sci-fi movie, but it's from an evangelical studio, so they try to infuse, I guess, Christian or moral rights or something like that. I don't understand it. 38% by critics, 86 by the audience. So this is one of those movies where, yes, because it's evangelical or whatever, it's marketed towards those people, and those people will go and watch it and they will like it. So that's why the audience score would be higher for that. Critically, you got to look at it as a movie, right? And the structure of the story, does it work? The technical aspects, does the score, soundtrack, cinematography all work? Does the pacing of the story work? That's what would be picked apart. But and all accounts from what I have heard from people who have seen The Shift, it's not worth your money. So Sean Astin is in that, huh? It is what it is. The only other new opener was Eileen in 6 theaters. Eileen, I want to see because that's Thomas and Mackenzie and Anne Hathaway, 90,000 domestically, but that was only in 6 theaters. I mean, no, that's no big deal. Let's go to the top 5, guys, because that's the big part. Renaissance, Beyonce, coming at the number 1. And now this was a little bit lower than I thought, by only a couple million. I thought it was going to be like 30 to 33 35 million. It came in with 27.4, but expect this next week, guys. It's going to have a huge, steep drop off because Beyonce, from what I understand, this film is not like Taylor Swift where it's only on the weekends. This is going to be throughout the week. And that's possibly something that could come back to hurt them, right? Let me just check. No, maybe it is only on the weekends because I'm looking at for the listings for today and it's not there. Maybe it is the same playbook, but it's not going to help it. This coming up week, they're going to be facing some stiff competition. So, oh yeah, Renaissance. The Boy and the Heron opens up this week. So it's going to have its run dampened for sure. But the people who have seen Renaissance, they have liked it. 100% by critics, 100% by the audience. Again, this is just like that Hindi film Animal, where it's kind of, or that evangelical movie. It's for those people. So this is for Beyonce fans. Of course, Beyonce fans are going to come out. Just like I was a Taylor Swift fan. I went to see the Taylor Swift film, and I was like, wow. Yeah, of course I would expect that. Fair. But going to what's coming out this weekend, Solo. What the heck is Solo? No, it's not Wonka, James. Come on. You're dropping the ball here. Godzilla -1 is still playing. Sam Padura, The Shift. Wait, is nothing else opening up this weekend? I don't believe that. Wow. Wow, guys. You're really dropping the ball here with letting me know what's in theaters. Yeah, these listings are not up to date. Whatever. All right. Renaissance. Next. Hunger Games drops down to the 2nd spot. We need to talk about the Hunger Games quickly here because it is making good money. Now, this budget, the budget for the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was reported like around 100 to 130 million, which means that it's made its production budget back, plus marketing, plus um, what the theater's percentage takes. It's now it's profitable, and that's a good thing because I found myself actually quite enjoying the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It does have its pacing issues. It does feel like it's two movies crammed into one, and you'll know that when you see that. Um, but I actually kind of liked it. In hindsight, it's one of those movies that just kind of like it sits with you, and when people try to say something bad about it, you're kind of like, well, okay, but it doesn't bother you because you're like, I think I actually kind of like that movie, and I'm not the only one because it's 89% by the audience, 64 by the critics. Uh, I understand the pacing issues. I understand that, yes, again, as I said, it felt like two movies in one. But Tom Blythe and Rachel Zegler did a really good job. They had good chemistry. Um, and the more I think about it, it was a little bit more of a tragic, because there was a moment there where he was going to go all the way good, and then something happens where it just things go off the rails for him, and it's kind of like he fully embraces it at the end, and that was haunting. It was haunting. There you go. I said it. I enjoyed it. So, Hunger Games, 100 million budget, 243 worldwide. That's good. Now that will also slow down. It's the third week, guys. So next week, when it comes to its fourth week, um, knowing that next week is going to be a little bit of a slow weekend, then. Um, It'll be good for Hunger Games. It'll be good for Beyonce, and it will be great for Godzilla -1 that opened up in the third spot. Let's go to that. 11 million domestically, 23 internationally. So the Japanese market will be big for this. 34 million worldwide, and Godzilla -1 had a shocking 15 million budget, which means, yes, it's made its production budget back, and probably what the theater's percentage would be. So anything now, like it didn't have a huge marketing campaign. It didn't. So I would say that it's probably now in the profit, and it's, guys, the word of mouth is going to help sell uh, Godzilla -1, because everybody who goes out and has seen it, it's just, holy crap, man. Godzilla -1 had no business being this good. Like, you got me going through a bevy of emotions here. And when Godzilla shows up, it's just, those sequences are just like, for $50 million, you achieve this? Holy moly, this looks sharp. It's crisp. He's scary. That's the way Godzilla's supposed to be. We'll talk about the American Godzilla in a little bit when we get to the Godzilla X Kong, where he's not really scary in that, right? There's no, you're not afraid of him. In Godzilla -1, you will be like, that's shocking, and he'll be attacking people that you don't want to have attacked, because you will be on board with the human characters. You'll be like, no, please, please, God, please, man, don't kill that person, please, please. And that's what this movie, that's what part of the big kaiju monsters should be about, is that, like, there's these big things that will trample you, you'll get stomped, you'll get blown away by the atomic breath, and it's kind of like, that's creepy, man. That's scary stuff. And Godzilla -1 delivered across the board in that aspect, um, for sure, for sure. So yeah, and I'm not, and as I said, I'm not the only one. People who come out of it, they're like, you got to check it out, man. And I think because it's going to be a slower week this coming next week, um, it's only going to benefit these movies, and have them have a little bit of a staying power. Um, so yeah, let's just go to the schedule here and take a look at what's coming out for this next week. Coming up Tuesday, December 5th. Aliens Uncovered Better Days. No. December 6th, The Abyss is getting a re-release, is it? So Friday, the December 8th, you got The Oath, The Cello, The Boy and the Heron, Hayao Miyazaki. I want to see that, and Eileen, and Poor Things. Oh, wait, Poor Things. That, of course, I'm going to be seeing Poor Things. Now, I don't think Eileen, Poor Things, or Boy and Heron. Boy and Heron may, because it's the final film from him. So that may have some staying power, but it's not going to be a huge release. And Origin comes out. I want to see that. I thought that Chicken Run was supposed to come out, uh, but I guess not. Yeah, Poor Things. I'll be seeing Poor Things no matter what. I'll be going to any length to see Poor Things because it's left one of the ones that's left on my must see list um, for this year. So Trolls Band Together, yeah, it's a kids movie. Fourth spot, 160 million. I don't know. I don't expect that Trolls Band Together had a $200 million budget, but I think it'll be fine. Um, we do have to talk about Napoleon just here quickly because Napoleon had a budget of $200 million plus. People try to excuse it just the way that, like they try to do with Killers of the Flower Moon. Apple TV Plus knew that Napoleon was going to be a bomb because they just wanted to try to attract people to the streaming service. So they were willing to take a loss, a hit. Why would you want to do that? Because here's what I would say, Apple TV Plus. Out of that 200 million, Godzilla minus one just showed that they could make something that resonates with fans for $15 million and is profitable. Why would you not want that to bring over to Apple TV Plus instead of having Napoleon drag you through the mud to start off? And I hate to say it, but Killers of the Flower Moon hasn't broken even yet either. It's a bomb. Napoleon, like Apple TV Plus, you're dragging through the mud here. And from what I hear about Godzilla or the Monarch series, that's not that great either. Now, I know that there are a bunch of other stuff on Apple TV Plus that people do like, but Napoleon, my God, it's a business model that I am constantly befuddled that people are going stretching themselves into these weird pretzel shapes, trying to excuse it, trying to say that, oh, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay. Napoleon it's a box office bomb. It's with a bullet, man. Yeah, so anyway, you've heard me rant about that. It is what it is. And then finally, guys, for the final box office story, we're going to be talking about the Marvels. Because it's done its run now in its fourth week. It's done. Last week it was out of the top 5, and now it's down to the 11th spot with 2.5 million. And I pulled this article that I do want to talk about. The Marvels ends its box office run as lowest grossing MCU movie in history. So it is the final MCU movie probably that will showcase Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and whoever Monica Rambeau was. We're not going to see them as the main characters going forward anymore. I don't see how it's feasible at all because of these results, the lowest box office results for the Marvels, because this is a movie that did cost somewhere upwards of 230 million. Now it's a bomb, but it's not a big, huge, monumental bomb like Napoleon. But it's like it hasn't broken even yet. It's still, it would, even if it made double this amount, 197, it still would be flirting. That's where it would be flirting with breaking even. Because it did have a big marketing campaign. It did. Marvel's did. They had a couple of trailers and stuff, and a poster campaign. It kind of sucks because I didn't hate it. I actually was somewhat charmed by the Marvels. And I thought Brie Larson was much better in this than she was in the first Captain Marvel movie. It just sucks. It sucks, man, because it didn't get its fair shake, and a lot of that had to do with the predecessors that were not landing. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, yes, it was a good movie. It was probably the best MCU movie we've had in a little while. But we knew that was coming to the end. That was the end of James Gunn's little series there. But Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania didn't land, and people were like, God's sakes, what the heck is this? Thor: Love and Thunder didn't really resonate with a whole bunch of people. People were like, oh God, what is this? And then it's been like that kind of reaction for a lot of the MCU shows. I know that I liked She-Hulk, but most people were like, what is this? Secret Invasion, nobody watched. We watched it here, and I actually pretty much liked Secret Invasion. I want to see more of what they were trying to establish with that. I agree, granted, that the final shot of Amelia Clark getting all the superpowers and stuff like that, ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm sure that there's a way that they could have retconned that, saying that she only had them for like a certain amount of time and then she's got to go back and earn them back, right? I don't know. We'll see how that all fits in. And I thought that Secret Invasion would tie in a lot more with the Marvels, but it didn't. So it's kind of like, well, there's scrolls in it, but yes, lowest run. Yeah, it's going to be on Disney Plus soon, probably, guys. So I don't know that it did have its good qualities, but yeah, the MCU needs to retool, and the MCU is going to have to maybe reconsider this posture that we started off the show today, guys, with Robert Downey Jr. Maybe you do need to bring him back. Kevin Feige says no, but if Shang-Chi is not going to be around for a while, then what the heck is going to happen in the MCU? It all has to drive somewhere, doesn't it? Please? Yes? No? I don't know. And who are the Avengers? Come on. That would be a nice announcement to have, right? Because they've got a new writer in for Kang Dynasty. It seems like we're still going to go with that, which is fine. I don't care if they recast Jonathan Majors or not, or if they keep him. I don't. You got to do what you got to do. But if you're going with Kang, who are going to be fighting him, right? Is Shang-Chi going to be fighting them? Like, who are the Avengers? Please, somebody, for God's sakes, Kevin Feige, come out and settle this for us and put us at ease, because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And I think I'm not alone in that. All right. So that's pretty much the way that the weekend's box office has gone, guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. So, what else can you find here on the channel? If you like this kind of stuff, guys, hey, we are talking about movies and stuff. So, trailer reactions for Godzilla, the New Empire, Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire is up there, and a trailer reaction for House of the Dragon Season 2. We'll be talking about that in just a few moments. But my reviews for Godzilla -1 is up on the channel, and I implore you to go check that out. And I was fairly thorough in my review about that. A Saltburn reviews up on the channel. Napoleon, oh yes, if you want to hear me rip it apart more, it's up there. But I'm fair. I'm totally fair about it. Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes review is up on the channel as well. We're in the midst of watching Survivor Season 45, guys. 3 more episodes will be done by Christmas time this season. And it's been a really great season. Come join us for that. And I know that a lot of people actually, it's my highest grossing series watch-alongs in a while, are watching Hell's Kitchen. So come join us for that. Episode 10 comes this week, guys. Looking forward to that and having lots of fun with you. And then, of course, you know that throughout... Oh, sorry, we got The Killer. We watched The Killer last week. David Fincher's movie there. And, of course, then, you know, we do movie news throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, which we're doing right now. So there are all my other social media handles. Guys, you noticed this week, or this month, I didn't trim down the full list reaction of my ranking of November movies. I thought I'd try it. I guess maybe I will try to find an edited version of that so that it fits under the shorts tier, so it gets a little bit more traction. I wish the shorts were up to 90 seconds. Give shorts up to 90 seconds, because sometimes just the few extra seconds, the extra 5 seconds, a minute and 5 seconds, a minute 20 seconds is all you need to make that short really more effective. Cutting out some of the little stuff makes it feel a little bit hollower, right? Let's continue on with the Godzilla X Kong trailer that dropped yesterday, guys. Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire trailer sees epic kaiju team up. I liked the trailer for the most part. I really thought that the trailer looked slick. Rebecca Hall stars in it this time. Yeah, they're fully embracing the Hollow Earths in this one, right? I'm not going to react to it now because my reaction is up on the channel. You guys can go check that out. But yeah, there's Kong and his big butt kind of going through the Hollow Earth. Is it cartoony? Maybe. But, I mean, come on. They can't recreate the Hollow Earth. I think he looks great, though. there's the big villain. Was it Skull Crusher, Skull King, or something like that? Um, he looks taller there. Now I think that's just the silhouette from the shadows in the mist there, but it looks great. So I think that maybe he'll have like a throwdown with him in the beginning, because if you look at his arm here, um, his arm is his hand doesn't have the bionic stuff on it, right? Um, let's see if I can take myself out of the equation here. See his both of his hands there are fine, but later on we see that he's got like a prosthetic. Now this is where the trailer lost me. The baby one. I'm sure that he's going to be like the son of the villain, the Skull King or whatever. He's going to be the villain, and the son of the villain, and then maybe Kong will sympathize with him or something. I don't know. Rebecca Hall here, and this is Dan Stevens. This is Dan Stevens here. Are the human characters. Here's the thing. Godzilla Minus One got it right by creating a story where we rooted for the main characters. The American version, not to take away from Dan Stevens or Rebecca Hall, they're good actors. Millie Bobby Brown was a good actor. The characters that they're playing are just kind of like serviceable. They're there because we need to have human characters. Well, why do you need to have human characters in this story? What Godzilla Minus One got right was that if you took Godzilla out of it, there's still some serious drama there with characters that you were rooting for. And I don't think that the American version, despite what Adam Wingard says, I don't think you're going to end. You're not rooting for the American these characters. You're still going to be rooting for Kong and Godzilla in this. So it looks like he goes to wake up Godzilla from something. But we see a shot here of a bunch of apes in the underground setting, and then the skull bad guy comes in and lays down, I guess, a beating on Kong, or establishes his power. Yeah, there's Brian Tyree Henry. So he's back in this one, which is cool. And then you get the pink Godzilla, right? I don't know what that's supposed to represent, the pink. But I thought it looked good. I guess it's supposed to be just another level of his power. But you don't need to change up the colors of his powers, guys. If you just make the atomic breath, just like what they did in Godzilla Minus One, make the atomic breath mean something. Devastating. Like this static shot doesn't look all that great, but in motion it looks great. And on the big screen, it's going to look absolutely phenomenal. But it's kind of like, I was watching, I don't know if you guys watch Corridor Crew or not. They're like visual effects artists that break down visual effects. And they just recently did one about Godzilla. And Gareth Edwards tried to do this with his Godzilla. But it's kind of like, let's say if Godzilla was real and we got him to behave like this and so we can get this shot. Who's filming this? Is this a helicopter shot? Right? Who would be film? Where's the camera? So subconsciously in our brains, it's kind of like it's helping us kind of understand that, oh, this is just a cartoon. This is just a computer generated image, which is fine, but it's kind of like it kind of takes you out. And there's the big bad guy, the Skull King or whatever his name is. But yeah, he's kind of like an orangutan type of thing, but he's going to be strong. He's going to like pull people's arms off and stuff like that. That's great. Now, everybody seems to like the shot of Kong and Godzilla running side by side. But again, I bring it back to you as like, who's filming that shot? How did they get this shot, right? How would you get this? And there's Kong with the bionic enhancements there. Like, how would they, like if Kong and Godzilla were real, how did you get that shot? I think the trailer looked slick and great. I understand that there's a team up stuff, but where Godzilla Minus One, Godzilla was menacing. Here you're just kind of like, yay, go for Godzilla, go for it, yay. We want to see them throw down and beat up the bad guy, right? So it's kind of like, welcome to. You're not feeling the menace from them that you probably should from these big monsters. This, I know it's just supposed to be kind of like, oh, isn't that cute? I don't know. It doesn't look as good as, say, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
A mini Kong.
A mini Kong. Yeah, so in theaters 2024, guys, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Oh, that's a different poster than the blood ones. Actually, I like that poster. That's the posters have been good. Yeah, there's the bullet hand ones. Those ones are these ones are eerie, man. But people like that. Um, the bionic arm, though. So I'm guessing he gets hurt in his first battle there with the skull bad guy. This guy. I'm sure this guy hurts him, right? That's why he needs the thing on his hand. And these ones, they look scared, so he's maybe trying to corral them to help. And there's the smaller one, right? So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, as I said, the cast: Rebecca Hall's great, Dan Stevens. Why is there no name there for Dan Stevens? Rachel House, Brian Tyree Henry, Alex Ferns. Nobody else really jumps off the page. Casey Riley. Why does that name sound familiar to me? The Fall Guy. Actress, Nautilus. So she was a stunt performer, huh? Maybe I'm getting her confused with somebody else. All right. No, I don't recognize her. All right. But what do you guys think about that trailer, Godzilla X Kong? Let me know in the comments, and we will talk about it. I think for the most part, people are liking it, right? Godzilla and Kong running together is definitely gonna become a meme. Yeah, that'll become a meme. But that just goes to say to what I was saying, that there's really no menace to it. Yeah, it's a cool shot conceptually, but when you try to think about it in context, yeah, they're teaming up to the bad guy, but it's kind of like, it's cool, but it's kind of like there's just no threat to it, right? I'm, I'm maybe having trouble articulating it. There's no weight to it. There should be loud booms as they're walking and stuff like that. I don't know. And I've heard people complain about the human stuff already. It's kind of like, well, we don't care about these characters. Well, I'll give it the chance, guys. I'll give it a chance. Give it a chance at least. Don't cry foul yet that you don't know anything about Rebecca Hall or Dan Stevens. But it's true. In the past, like Kong Skull Island, they were just relying on Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston by brand name to be likable enough as the human characters, right? And maybe that's what they're trying to do here. I'll give it a fair shake. Next year, guys, Kong versus Godzilla, April 12th. April 12th is when that comes out. Next, Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 it comes out next year, and we're looking forward to that. But we got some character posters ahead of its March release. Let's just take a look. Princess Aurelian. Florence Pugh. That one looks cool. Christopher Walken as Emperor Shaddam IV. Yeah, I want to see more of him. Like, he can still play that menacing bad guy kind of thing, right? Austin Butler, Fade Rotha. Yeah. I know that some people, the purists out there, complain that Fade and the Baron should have like orange hair because that's the way it was described in the book. But it's Denis Villeneuve, and I trust him. The story and the visuals will carry it, right? It's going to be good. I have faith in it. Javier Bardem's Stilgar. Like, just his face, the character in his face, it's just like, he's not even really, he's just looking, and it's kind of like you're just enthralled, right? Timothée Chalamet. Now I think that's the weakest one because it's a profile shot. You don't get to see his full face. I mean, it looks cool. Léa Seydoux, Lady Margot. I like that. Rebecca Ferguson, Lady Jessica. That looks sick. That looks awesome. Ah, Rebecca Ferguson. Rose the Hat. Awesome. I like her. Josh Brolin, Gurney. Dave Bautista, the Beast Raban. I'm sorry, you're going to lose your head in this one. Spoiler alert. Well, sorry, the book's been out for so long, guys. And we should watch David Lynch's version before that comes out. I do. Actually, Dune Part 1 is leaving Netflix by the 9th. Maybe we'll watch it in the upcoming week. We'll watch Part 1 in the upcoming week. Maybe tomorrow. Zendaya. Again, what's with the profile shots? You don't get to see her face all the way through. Stellan Skarsgård's the Baron. Very creepy stuff, man. And I want to see more of that weird kind of like mutation stuff that they were trying to do, like with the spider person that we saw. I want to see more of that. Character posters, guys. Who's your favorite? I think mine would have to... Actually, I think I do like Florence Pugh's princess. She's going to marry Paul Atreides for political reasons and stuff like that. And I hope we get to that part of the story. We don't need to get to the part of the story where like their children start to turn into worms themselves and stuff like that, or whatever happens and they turn into these weird floating... Yeah, we don't need to get to that part of the story because it does get weird. The story of Dune does get weird, guys. Because a lot of stuff, as I said, about the Baron, you saw it with that spider person in the first one, like the mutations and stuff like that. So it does go a lot more into that kind of stuff. But talking about Florence Pugh in Dune, this sucks. Florence Pugh hit in the face by flying object while promoting Dune Part 2 at Comic Con XP in Brazil. Well, that sucks. I like Florence Pugh. That's not the way to do things, guys. If you're a fan of somebody, and you see this at rock concerts and music concerts, of people like throwing stuff on the stage or at the performers, excuse me, that's not the way to do it. If you're a fan of them, then respect them, respect the place. You throwing an object, you may feel like, oh, I touched them, I made them interact with me. That's not the way to do it. That sucks. So hopefully she wasn't hurt too bad. Yeah, no, that's terrible. No. So maybe she wasn't the target, but she was just in the group because Zendaya is there, Austin Butler, Timothée Chalamet. Who's that? Who is that in between Zendaya and Florence? Wow, right in the face. That's awful. I thought it was on the back of her head, but no, that's right in the eye socket. God damn. If I were the security guards, I'd be like, "You hit my flow? How dare you? It's on." Yeah, and it's kind of like these people here on the you're like, you're the reason why we can't have nice things, because eventually a big shield will go up and it'll be kind of like they'll be behind plastic barriers and be like, that's terrible. I shake my head at that. I hope she's okay. It seemed like it didn't hit her too hard, but like, I mean, even like it's on your face, so if it could potentially leave them like a bruise or something, and that Florence, she deserves better because she's damn, guys. That's not how you be a fan of things. All right, Lord of War 2 is going to happen. Lord of War sequel starring Nicolas Cage is slated to shoot in Morocco in 2024 with production company Casbah Films. Casbah. I like the first. Now, guys, here's the thing about Lord of War. I knew that it was based on a real person. But I liked the movie when it first came out. I actually really liked it with Jared Leto and stuff. Him like learning to become an arms dealer. I thought it was a very fascinating, gritty, hard-hitting movie. But then when you learn about the guy that it was really based on, the guy that it was really based on he's not a good dude. We shouldn't be like elevating him and his story. It's kind of like American Sniper in that aspect. The guy that that guy and the guy Lord of War was based on, we shouldn't be elevating them. Because when you actually learn about them, they're bad dudes. They're not good people. Um, so I'm a little bit mixed, but I did like Nicolas Cage in that. So when I go see Lord of War, the sequel to it, I'll try to uh, not let that interfere with my experience of the film, or maybe they'll even address that. Right, the guy that it was based on, he was part of the prisoner exchange that brought back Brittany Griner. Was it the female basketball star from Russia? There was a trade off there to bring her back, and he was one of the people that was let go from prison in that exchange. Now, I don't think he'll have the clout or resource to go back into business like he was before, but it's kind of like he didn't really get his comeuppance, right? Maybe for a short bit. But we'll see. That's enough digression. Let's just talk about Lord of War Part 2. Deg Deba, I guess, is the producer. Karim Deba of uh, Kasbah Films says, told Variety, quote, "We're trying to cover 4 or 5 African countries in Libya, Egypt, Senegal, and Mali, and several countries in the Middle East. And we've almost found everything in Morocco. Casablanca itself is so diverse that you'll find areas that look like Senegal and others that are very luxurious, like a California neighborhood. And if you're looking for places to similar to Libya, Yemen, or Syria, you can find them around Marrakech. Marrakech. Okay. So Lord of War sequel will also star it Bill Skarsgård. Okay, as Cage's son. Cage's son. Wow. The plot will reportedly involve a father-son twist, with Skarsgård playing Orlov's son, Anton. In the Lord of War sequel, Anton tries to top his father's wrongs instead of stopping them as he launches a mercenary army to fight America's Middle East conflict. So it's mostly about Bill Skarsgård's character, I guess, huh? The crew members in Morocco will have become very well trained in recent years, as thanks to all the big movies that have come here to film, and have great schools that have opened to help bolster the younger generation. So, supposed to shoot next year, guys. I've given you my concerns. What do you think about it? Are you going to go check that out? Lord of War 2. Very interesting. Next. All right, guys. Deadpool 3 villain. Now, guys, from what we understand, this is going to be a spoiler, but from what we understand, there's going to be variants in here. Like, there's going to be like a multiverse aspect to Deadpool 3, from what I understand. That's why we're going to be able to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because there's going to be him. He'll come in from a different universe. So, when they say villains, expect like cameo versions of villains to come in and stuff like that, and even different versions of Wolverine apparently that we may see. So expect that, and different versions of Deadpool that we'll see. So if you don't want spoilers, guys, click away for right now. I'm somebody, I don't really care about the spoiler. This doesn't really spoil the movie for me. We know that they fight bad guys. So knowing which bad guys doesn't really spoil it for me. But it looks like we're going to get 2 classic X-Men villains fighting in this one. And this article here doesn't really go on to show it, but I'll give you a little bit of a glimpse. So as I said, this is a spoiler. Tyler Mane back as Sabretooth to fight Wolverine. Cool. And apparently Toad is going to be in it as well. I don't know, though, if Ray Park is going to be reprising Toad. Maybe. Again, as I said, villains, it's just a minor thing. I don't expect them to be the main villains, because it's supposed to be like a road trip buddy kind of movie, right? About Deadpool and Wolverine. And we know that Deadpool is going to fight Wolverine. So are you going to say that Wolverine was a villain? No. It's a thing that just happens. It's going to be there. And as a cameo, I think that'll be kind of fun to see. And I expect a lot more cameos. I'll be measured as I come out. Like now, if there's a big spoiler where it reveals something about the plot, then I'm more cognizant of that. But as far as like something like that, I'm just like, cool. It just for me, seeing that just helps bolster my enthusiasm because I never thought that Tyler Mane would ever come back. But hey, this we're in the age of where things are coming back that you never thought you would see. You never thought you would see the entire Star Trek: The Next Generation cast back on the old Enterprise, but hey, we got it right. You never thought that you would see Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield back as Spider-Man, but hey, we got it. So hey, Tyler Mane back as Wolverine, as Sabretooth, fine. You know, you heard reports that they were trying to get Liev Schreiber back, but hey, maybe we'll see both Sabretooths. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Who knows? Talking about Ryan Reynolds, let's keep with that. Ryan Reynolds and Channing Tatum apparently are going to be playing brothers in an action comedy, Calamity Hustle action comedy. Well, we both know that they can handle the action. That'll be kind of fun. Channing Tatum is he's a good actor. And apparently he may be also as a cameo in the Deadpool movie. So Deadpool 3. So that'll be fun. And if they work together well there, then I think they'll be good as brothers. So what's this movie going to be about? Brothers embroiled in a batched heist in a new action comedy from the directors of The Lost City. The Lost City? Not Z, The Lost City, because God, that was awful. Warner Bros., Amazon, and Netflix are in a bidding war for the rights of Calamity Hustle. $20 million each. They will reunite Free Guy. Or were they in Free Guy as well? Tatum was in Free Guy? I can't quite remember. So, an action comedy about estranged brothers involved in a diamond heist. If it goes to Netflix, then it'll be on Netflix. We can watch it there. But we'll see. Calamity Hustle follows a down on his luck former LA detective turned private investigator who has been shaken down by a vicious crime lord. Must track down his estranged brother who is responsible for interfering with a diamond heist. Oh, okay, so one of them interferes with a diamond heist and he's got to go find out what the heck happened, right? The report goes on to say that Ryan Reynolds and Tatum were offered $20 million each for their roles. What? What? Guys, we're past those days. 20 that so that's a $40 million budget just to bring on these guys, and that's not talking about the rest of the movie. That for a comedy that comedies have not been performing, man. Studio heads just haven't learned their lesson. And I like both of them. I do, but really, do you deserve a $20 payday for a film that's probably not going to get that back in return? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts, and it's because I do like Ryan Reynolds and I do like Channing Tatum. It's just the business model, man. It brings too much up into question. Zack Snyder, let's talk about that. Zack Snyder regains the rights to Blood and Ashes, which he wrote as a sequel to 300. Well, actually, I kind of like the sequel that they did do for 300 with Eva Green, right? Zack Snyder has regained the rights to Blood and Ashes, which he had originally pitched as to Warner Bros. As a 300 sequel. Yeah, apparently, with from what I heard in the early days before they made that one, it was going to be more about the Persian army and stuff, right? Which I guess the sequel was sort of about. It was going to be more from their perspective, right? So Blood and Ashes, having wound up 300, was focused in on the relationship between Alexander the Great and Hephaestion, part love story and part Greek war epic. It may have been too much for the studio at the time. Well, they can redo it. And if they do it in the style of 300, I'd like to see more like that. We got the rights back so we can make it if we want it, said Zack Snyder. I don't know what the marketplace is for an incredibly homoerotic, super violent, super sexual movie. But maybe it's it's perfect. I don't know. Well, back then, yeah. Apparently, the Persians they didn't really touch on that stuff, right? They were kind of like the Romans in the fact that it didn't really matter which way you swung hey, if you wanted a peace, then that's the way that it was like, okay, kind of thing, right? That's what my understanding of it was. But I don't know. We're going to see Zack Snyder's next movie this month, Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, on December 25th, right? Is 22nd, sorry, 22nd, December 22nd. And we will be watching it here live on YouTube when that drops, guys. So come join us here for that. It's on a Friday. So Friday, 2 Fridays from now. Not this Friday, not the Friday the 15th, but Friday 22nd. So 2 Fridays from now. 3 Fridays from now, sorry. Huh. So he regains the rights to that. Fascinating. All right. We're running a little bit behind here, so we got some hit or miss headlines. If it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll just move on. Victoria Pedretti to make Broadway debut opposite Jeremy Strong in An Enemy of the People. We do like Victoria Pedretti here. She's one of Mike Flanagan's go-to people for Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. Great actress. She's also in, what is it that she was, You, right? You, yeah. She's in that series You, but she's going to be on Broadway. I like it when actors, they just try to flex their muscles a little bit. Acting on stage is such a different beast than working in front of the camera. Because, hey, if something goes wrong during the show, you just got to roll with it. You got to improvise. You got to just keep that ball rolling. And it's kind of like, it's a weird thing that you got to go through the emotions of the character on maybe 2 shows a day or like 7 days a week kind of thing. Each night you put on a show kind of thing. It's kind of like, yeah, that roller coaster thing. It's a weird experience for actors. So cool for her. I like that. Next. George Santos movie in the works at HBO Films from Veep. Guys, this is the guy that he lied on his resume to get elected to office in the States. He lied about everything. He continues to lie. And you asked him if he lied. He says, no, I didn't lie, but I'll lie to you now about me lying. And it's kind of like, no, I don't care about that guy. That guy came and went. He's done. And again, the same thing that I said about the Lord of War guy. We don't need movies to elevate these bad people. We don't. Stop it. If you didn't talk about these people, they would just go away and they would just vanish into the ether. We don't need to heighten them, right? That's the way I feel. Next, Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour film seeking release in China. Well, it's done its run now, guys, and we know that it's going to be on the streaming services here next week, December 13th, Wednesday, and I think I will. I want a physical copy. I want the physical copy. I want, if I can get a 4K version, because I am going to get a 4K TV soon that'll be able to play all of this stuff, and I want the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie on 4K, man. But if it gets a China release, that'll just add to the box office for her. So good for her. Good for Tay-Tay. You know how I feel about her. Next, HBO drops the first trailer for House of the Dragon Season 2. And guys, I like this teaser a lot. We watched the first season here on the channel. Full live watch-alongs are available. Yeah. I forgot her name. I'm sorry. When I was watching it, I totally forgot her name. Let me pull up the IMDb. I know Rainier. Rainier and Damon are my favorite characters. They're the ones you're rooting for, right? Who is it? Otto Tyhauer, yeah. Graham McTavish. I hope he's back. Yeah, Emma Darcy plays Rhaenyra. She does great. Olivia Cook is Alicent, right? Alicent, yeah. I was hoping that we would see Millie Alcock and the younger Alicent actress in the trailer, but we won't. And as far as Paddy Considine of Viserys, I don't think we're going to see him. Maybe in flashbacks. But Millie just, she like, look at her. You're like, I want to see more from whatever she was doing. But my reaction's up on the channel. I thought it looked great. Damon, yeah. There's retribution going to be coming because they killed the son, right? So that's how it was, the first season ended. 8 episodes. It's going to be season 2, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. Like look at his armor. Like the why is that not nominated for costume design, guys? Because like the aesthetic, the production design for this was so rich. It really helped sell the world building of it all, right? Yeah, Emma Darcy. Now, Olivia Cook did well too, right? Who else did I want? I want to see somebody. Who is it? Kristen, right? I want to see him get his comeuppance. He's going to be like the big bad guy, right? Sir Kristen, yeah. But I like the trailer. That's a hit in my books. Where are we? We got a few more? Just a few more. Will Smith talks mistakes and teases I Am Legend 2. So we are officially, for me, guys, I think we are starting to cross that threshold where it's kind of like, all right, Will, I'll listen to your apologies now. And we're at least me, I'm starting to, okay, I'll entertain your musings, and it's time. You've served enough time in the box, right? The penalty box. Um, and he's going to bounce back. He's going to bounce back. And hopefully with moves like I Am Legend 2 and stuff like that, Bad Boys 4, that, it'll help people go, oh, yeah, that's why I like Will Smith. Not with, I think he needs to stay away from the awards type movies like he did with Emancipation or whatever that recently came out. Yeah, stay away a little bit from that stuff. Go back to the stuff that made you popular, dude. That's the way I would say. And just make people say, oh, yeah, Will Smith, he still got it. Thumbs up. So mistakes, he's acknowledging it. That's a good part of the healing process. So, yeah, it's about time. It's time, right, guys, to forgive and move on. It's time. He served his penalty minutes in the box. Time to move on. Yeah. Next, Billie Eilish on Coming Out. I didn't realize people knew.
We got to talk about your
Yeah. So I guess this came out a couple of weeks ago that she said this, right? That she of her preferences.
Her story, because you mentioned that you felt like for a long time women didn't like you, and when that came out, all the women were like, "No, we love her."
I know.
How did that respond?
Yeah. So, for me, guys, I don't really care. She seems like a cool person, so it's kind of like, hey, whatever makes you happy, man. Whatever makes you happy. Billie Eilish. You like girls? Go for it. That's what I say. Next. Perry Gilpin on returning as Roz for finale on Paramount Plus series for Frasier. That's cool. I watched a little bit of that clip. Perry Gilpin was on the Seattle version of Frasier, right? When she was like the radio producer. So it's kind of cool to see her back as a cameo. I think people appreciated that, right? I don't have Paramount Plus. I may sign up for it now. Guys, we do have to talk about something here. I have acquired some work that is going to take me away. So this week, while I said that we are watching Survivor and Hell's Kitchen, they may have to be filmed in the afternoons going forward, or it'll have to be on a floating schedule. They still will be on Thursdays and Fridays, but it's just the mornings may be full for me. The shows are still going to be up on the channel, guys. My reviews, my movie news, it's all going to get shifted around. I'm not going to work for full time anywhere. So it's not like before in the summer when I had to buy the big $2,300 computer before taxes, which is still a beast. I'm still marveled that I still got a great computer. I can see the little twos with the liquid cooling system, and I'm just like, and I can see like the 32 gigs of RAM in there and the 2 terabytes of SSD. I got a great computer, but no, that's not like this. It's not like that. So Uh, just know that the schedule will be a little bit dicey going forward. Well, not dicey, but we'll still have the shows. Just the time frame of them will be shifted around. Chris Schober in the live chat says, "I heard they're making a sequel to Thanksgiving horror movie." Yes, Thanksgiving 2 was announced by Eli Roth on Friday, I believe, late Friday. I still haven't seen Thanksgiving. I'll see it before the end of the year, guys. It'll be part of my list of stuff that I have on my spreadsheet. Chris Schober, do you think we will get a sequel to It's a Wonderful Knife? No, no, no. No, we won't. Now, I hope we would get a sequel to Totally Killer. I would like to see that. Let's go up and take a look at Thanksgiving on the tomato meter. Hi. I want to. It was well received, so I do think that should be under consideration. What's the box office for Thanksgiving? 36 million, and I don't think this is the budget where it's Eli Roth, it's Blumhouse, right? Smaller, no, actually Spyglass did this one, right? Smaller budget though. It was maybe around 10 million. It's profitable. So yeah, they got a green light. They're going to make us Thanksgiving too, and it was well received. Totally Killer was also, but that went straight to streaming, so that didn't. And I need to edit my watch along for you guys, put it up on the channel for you guys, right? It was so much fun, and it introduced me to Kiernan Shipka. It was just fun. It's a fun movie, and I hope there could be the door open there for a sequel, I would say. What was the other one that you mentioned? It's a Wonderful Knife? No, that one's not going to happen. That one, I hear terrible things. Yeah, I hear that it's a feeble attempt. Now, audience score pretty much liked it though. 55% by critics though. I hear that it's just kind of like it meanders and is lackluster. It's solidly entertaining, says Alonso Duralde, really, but Christy Lemire didn't like it. It sort of lurches from moment to moment as far as being dreary and being inspired. What did it do at the box office? It's not on there. No? Oh well. All right. Let's go over to the Twitterverse and round the show out. We're going overtime today. That's okay. We'll be on the show later on this afternoon. Try to get some stuff done, maybe. Andrew High's All of Us Strangers have received a total of 7 wins. All of Us Strangers, huh? Selena Gomez and Meryl Streep reunite at the Academy Museum Gala. Yeah, they were just in Only Murders in the Building Season 2, right? Good to see Selena's up and cheerful. She fights like depression and stuff, right? With Meryl, that's cool. That's always cool. Saoirse Ronan and Greta Gerwig. Divine Joy Randolph wins Best Supporting Actress for The Holdovers in Atlanta Film Critics. She was good, and I think Glass Vikings said it. She was like his favorite character of that movie, and she was really good. If you watch my rankings, guys, of November, you know that was, I conceded. Like, it was just the better crafted film, better acted film, better executed film. Right? You got to give credit where credit is due. And I was a little bit harsh on it when I first saw it. I was harsh. But it is what it is. Ryan Gosling and Robert Downey Jr. tie for Best Supporting Actor in that same one. Really? You tie? You can't break that tie. I would give it to RDJ, though. I do like Ryan Gosling as Ken, though. That moment when he's kind of like, he turns it around on her and he's kind of like, it's going to be boys' night. How does it feel? Like that, you just like, ooh. But there's so many, but RDJ had so many other moments. He had multiple moments throughout Oppenheimer where you're like, Oof, wow. And that's out now, right? Oppenheimer's in 4K now. I need to pick that up too, because that breathtaking, beautiful film. Martin Scorsese's Killer of the Flower Moon will be available to purchase on Tuesday. I'm not going to get it. Lily Gladstone wins. Cillian Murphy wins. Joey King addresses Jacob Elordi's criticism of the Kissing Booth movies. Yeah, she was also in that, and we're fans of Joey King here. I think it's uncomfortable. It's unfortunate anyone would feel that way. I had a great time making those movies, no matter what anyone says. And that sucks. That sucks, Jacob. That he said that. I don't know if it was taken out of context, but he was kind of like saying that those films were below him, that he didn't like to do them. Uh, that's unprofessional behavior, right? So even if you don't like doing something like what I'm about to do, I'm going to go do some part-time hours here someplace. I don't want to do it, but it's kind of like you got to do what you got to do. Maybe you shouldn't even say that you don't want to do it. So maybe that was a little bit of unprofessionalism by me, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go in there with my A game. And nobody's going to ever catch a whiff of this unless they watch this episode, which I don't think most people will, but whatever. Oh, yeah. And we stand with Joey King. And I'll give Jacob Elordi a little bit of grace here because I did like Saltburn. I did like him as Elvis and Priscilla. But Joey King, you don't disrespect your other people like that, right? Victoria Pedretti, the star with Jeremy Strong and Broadway. Yep, we talked about that. I don't know who those two guys are, but whatever. A new look at Nicholas Hoult and Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Of course, he's going to be our Lex Luthor as well. Nicholas Hoult. And there's, I guess, Count Orlok there. You can tell by the big, weird hands. Played by Skarsgård, right? Skarsgård's playing it? It feels like we're going to get a trailer for that pretty soon. But it's not till fall next year, isn't it? Saltburn is now going to be streaming on Prime Video December 22nd. Rachel Ziegler. Guys, I'll tell you this. She does have a presence to her. The camera does like her. Like when some of the scenes in Hunger Games, you're just watching her and you're like, wow, she really commands it. She does. She's got it. It's just unfortunate that some of the statements that, again, just like Jacob Elordi, she said certain things about the properties that she's working in, like Snow White, that were just like, why are you saying that? Stop that. Don't say that about the movies that you're working in, kind of thing, right? Anyway, that's cool. Cillian Murphy and Barry Keoghan shared a new photo. That's cool. Hopefully they work together. That'd be cool to see, right? The Eras Tour is currently in negotiations for a China release. Yeah, we know that. Saoirse Ronan. I need to see Foe. Foe I added to my must-see list, not my must-see list, my remaining to be seen list of the year, Foe. I know that one wasn't really well received either. Lily Gladstone. She's wearing all these dresses that conceal certain things, but she is stunning, right? Ooh, James, you can't say that. That's terrible. Well, I didn't say anything bad about it. Tom Blythe Academy. Tom Blythe. Yeah. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I want to see more from him too. Oh, is he a brunette normally? Huh. Leo? I don't know. Does his tux jacket look a little bit big for him? It looks a little bit big. It doesn't look like it's tapered all that well. Maybe that's the style. Actually, it looks big. Like the arms look, I don't know. Leo, not your best look, dude. Next. I don't know who these people are. Whatever. There's Barry. Meryl Streep. So, is this all that happened yesterday? Sorry that I'm scrolling through some of these. Charles Melton. We just saw him in the Netflix movie May December. He did a good job. He did. He's got the jawline for like a superhero or something. He does. Greta Lee, Kiki Palmer, Molly Gordon. So is this all that's on Film Updates? Is stuff? Who the heck is that? Rachel Sennott. The red really pops. Yeah, the color just poof caught my eye right away. See, the white just doesn't do it for me. Whatever. Addison Rae, America Ferrera, and Greta Gerwig. Everybody talks about her monologue in Barbie, right? It was a big highlight from America Ferrera. I didn't realize that she was substantially shorter than Greta, though. Huh. Rachel, Selena. Tom Blythe. That's a better picture of him. We need a young Palpatine story, and I want either Tom Blythe to play the young Palpatine or the guy who played one from Stranger Things season 1 for Star Wars. But James, that'll just shrink the universe. I don't care. Oh, May, December. Yeah, Natalie Portman. Gosh, she's like, just look at that. For God's sakes, she's, yeah, wow. Why are some of these blurred? We like the Lupita Nyong'o here. I don't want to see them blurred. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. America Ferrera shows new photo from the set of Barbie. Emma Stone. Yeah, we're going to see her this week. Poor Things. Can't wait for that. Zendaya. Again, looks stunning. I wish I could go there and say, watch out, Florence. Somebody's going to hit you. Yeah, that just sucks when you hear about that story. Timothée Chalamet is going to be, apart from Dune Part 2, he's doing like a biopic of Bob Dylan, right? All of Us Strangers. Mia McKenna Bruce. Oh, huh. Ryan Lane, Vivian Oprah. New trailer for Godzilla. New posters. Yeah, Anatomy of a Fall wins Best International Film. Yeah, I need to see Anatomy of the Fall. That's left on my must-see list. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling to star as the parents of Danny and Debbie Ocean in the Ocean's 11 prequel. So they're the parents of Danny. Set during the 1962 Monaco Grand Prix, the pair will teach their children how to steal from the rich. Oh, okay. That's the angle they're going for? That could be funny. That could be good. Well, you can't. Well, do you know that Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie have good chemistry together on screen? That actually got me a little bit more interested in the sequel. It did. Chris says they just released a TV series called True Detective Night Country. I never saw True Detective. I never got into it. Edgar Wright says his adaptation of The Running Man is in active development. Yeah, we did a story about that a while ago, right? Jodie Comer. So it's just a bunch of award show stuff. There's the Dune posters. I really like that Rebecca Ferguson one. Biggest opening weekends of concerts of all time. Yeah, wasn't there a poll put up for favorite uh favorite streaming movie? Wasn't there? Favorite concert movie. Yeah, I voted in this poll. I voted for Taylor. But the favorite concert movie is Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads. I don't even know who the heck the Talking Heads are with only 38 votes. Who the heck are the talking heads? James. James, you're showing your ignorance here. Oh, they did Psycho Killer? Psycho Killer. Fa 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 better. Run, 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 run away. Okay, so I do know who talking heads are. So that's your favorite concert? Wow. I would have put it on some Nirvana, maybe. Metallica Through the Never. I like S&M over, yeah, and Other. So somebody put Other, whatever they could be. Maybe, yeah. Where's Tay Tay then? Wow, she's way down there with only 16 votes. Oh, that'll go up. What's your favorite concert movie, guys? I'd go see a Nirvana concert. I guess in January they're going to be doing a Queen concert movie. All right, guys, I think that's it for me today. I got nothing else more than that. All right. Yeah, the Hunger Games drop. All right, that's it for me, guys. Come join us later tomorrow for more movie news. And as I said, we'll adjust the schedules on Wednesday and going forward about where I'm going to be at. I just know. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time here on Mirror Domains.